Intro to computers. November 7th, this is Wednesday. We talked about security. Okay, so we started out, talked a little bit about data, talked about where data appears all over the place. Okay, we talked about integrity, confidentiality, and availability. Integrity, the quality of the data, make sure the data is right. Confidentiality, who can see what data, who can use it, and making the data available to those who need it. We have to be concerned about where the data is stored while it's moving in transit or during processing. What things do we use to manage this? We have products and devices that allow us to better manage our data. We need to make sure people are schooled correctly, and there's a certain level of trust you need within people and so forth. We have procedures, steps, and things we need to do to secure the data. And we have policies. Policies would say, here's a good example, you might have a policy about changing passwords. The procedure is how to actually change the password. And then we talked about policy and guidelines. Guidelines are not quite as strict as policies. They're saying, here's generally what we should do to keep the data secured. And then a policy would be more specific. If you break a policy, there would be repercussions. Okay? That's all review. Then we talked about new today was security terminology. The asset, in our case, in this class, is basically the data. Then you have a threat, what could happen to the data. A threat agent is somebody who can carry out the threat. And then vulnerability, that term, is what is the chances that it'll actually happen. Okay? I use the example, I used to own old pickups. So my asset is the pickup. Is there a threat? Yeah, somebody could steal it. Are there people out there that would want to steal it? Probably. How vulnerable am I? If the pickup was worth very little money, there probably wouldn't be much of a threat for somebody to steal it. But if somebody did steal it, we'd call that an exploit. So the asset would be the data. Could somebody get at the data? That would be your threat agent. What threat is there? How vulnerable is it? What's the chances somebody can get to it? And if they do, that would be an exploit. So you look at this combination of things, the asset, the threat agent, and vulnerability, and you develop then your level of risk. Okay? Are you willing to do nothing and risk the data getting stolen? Are you willing to secure it, spend time, effort, and money and resources to try to secure the data? Or do you transfer the risk? You pay somebody else to manage it, or you buy insurance. Okay? Sometimes it's a combination of those. Okay, some will have insurance, plus they still lock their cars. Security issues we're going to cover Friday. We covered attacks. We talked about reconnaissance, scanning, and then actually hacking in. Once somebody hacks in, they look to find important information like the password to the administrative part of the computer, for example, and then that's called escalating their privileges. All right, we'll talk a little more about that on Friday. How do we protect? Well, we can control access. Authentication, typically we use IDs and passwords. Authorization, we monitor what people can do on the device. And then auditing and counting, we keep track of what they did while they were in the device, or in the computer, or on the server, or whatever. So AAA, authentication, who we are, authorization, what we can do, and auditing or accounting, what we actually did. And then I did an example. I logged into the server that the students are using for the project. I logged in just like a student, and then I escalated my privileges. I logged in as a root user, which gives me all the privileges. So I am authorized to do anything. And then I showed them how logins are kept track of. All right. So that's pretty much the notes for today. The students had an option to use the tablets again today. Nobody made use of that. We're going to look at those some more on Friday. And also then I answered questions about the project today. And we'll have time to work on the project on Friday, answer some more questions on Friday. We're meeting here in PC 229 again on Friday. And that's it.